Question 1146. Would you be okay with your current or future partner acting in porn?
Important?
In pornography, acting in pornography.
Oh, being like if my girlfriend was a porn star?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Do one of you guys answer that one first, huh?
I wouldn't have a problem with that, I guess. I think I'd be okay with that.
Nerdy says yes. Nerdy says, I'd be perfectly okay with any future partner being involved in porn. Mathpig says, Mathpig doesn't share.
As long as they were utilizing protection and limiting the risk of transmission of diseases and that sort of thing, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Chad?
On this one, I would have said 5 to 10 years ago that I would not share, but now I basically say I'd be okay with it. I think I've kind of grown, I guess, in some sense. My opinion changed.
I mean, oddly enough, you teach high school. You're a high school teacher. I can imagine it's one of the professions where there could potentially actually be a negative impact on your job from them doing so.
Well, you're asking about my partner, though. I don't plan on going on OnlyFans.
No. I mean, talking about your partner. I can imagine. I can imagine school kids saying they found
Stigma.
Mr. Chad's wife on Pornhub.
And that's fine, but I don't see a problem with that. There's no stigma there apart from their opinion. And quite frankly, they don't vote or have money, so I don't care.
We've got to go here. Jen said, sure if they wanted to. Ricardo says, yes, fine. Godless Sewing says, yes, completely. Jen says what Mel said. Stool says, if she's a nun, nun porn is sexy time. Rainbow says, I'd be a hypocrite if I did. Richard says, that is beyond gross. Never mind the disease thing. That is just nasty. I wish I were a virgin and would want my future mate to be. Understandable position. I don't agree with it at all. Nerdy says, I'm on Dave's OnlyFans. Ilya says, hello. Why am I reading that? My apologies. Lone Wanderer.
See, that's a really difficult question because I wouldn't want to stand in the way of something they wanted to do if that's really what they wanted to do. But like Mel was saying, what if they get me sick? And you and I, Dave, we've had this conversation a couple of times about consenting adults. But
the same could be said of a lot of jobs. The same could be said of a lot of jobs where there's a lot of risk of disease and a lot of, there are lots of people. Would you object if your partner worked in a biolab?
I did. I had access to rubella and HIV and all kinds of things.
Where there is
exactly. So I mean, I'm not saying I would have a problem with it. It would just be like, he'd have to be tested like daily. You
want to ensure you're safe.
For me, I would.
Go on, Chris.
I was gonna say, I would have a problem with it, just because I have some stupid connection that doesn't make any sense that I want like a monogamous relationship, right? But like ethically and morally, I shouldn't care, right? Like if she wants to be a porn star, like it's my problem. That's my problem, right? I should be able to get over it.
Welcome to your indoctrination, your societal indoctrination.
I don't know. I think that depends. So if you're more of a person who's interested in a monogamous relationship and that's something you understand with your partner, that's different. It would be a betrayal for them to want to start doing porn. And so at some point you would have to have the conversation. Do I want to continue a relationship with this person if they're doing this? And so that's not a bad thing to say. I don't want my partner to do porn. There's no shame in that. It's a matter of this is what I need,
But I would also want to know their motivations. What
Well,
Like if it came out of the
maybe
blue, like, hey, I want to
maybe
be a
to make
porn star,
money
they
and
would.
not for love, or not even for like sensations or anything. If it's just for money or something, and they actually don't love the people, then
It's
you
not
could
as
still, I
glamorous
guess,
as you think
still
it
be
is.
monogamous, I guess. But like, I mean, my answer, I guess I'll give like a hard no. Like, what was the question? If would you break up with your girlfriend if she's a porn star, or
Would you
becomes
be
a porn
okay
star?
with your current or future partner acting in porn?
No, I wouldn't be, but I feel like
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
answer is
So
no,
you
but
can't,
I
you
feel
can't
like
do
I
anything
should be
about,
though.
You
you
feel
can't do anything about what she did.
No, I feel like that's my problem, right? I'm too harsh. I shouldn't say no, but I do
That's all right.
feel saying no.
I have some
See,
nice
I kind
context
of
for you
disagree
here.
with that.
Right. Cold as fuck says, lol, fuck no. If I'm with someone, I'm with them. And call me old fashioned, but no one puts no one but me puts their dinky in my woman. I think that's a bit
I think.
ownershipy for me.
Well,
I kind of agree with Chris a little bit insofar as that's what I used to think. But I mean, when you start thinking about in terms of divorce rates, the number of people start going out on dates with and relationships with and have feelings for either short periods or long periods of time, you start kind of getting into this idea of what is the monogamous aspect of it. I mean, all you've done is dislocate your feelings temporally speaking. You've still done the acts in some sense. You're talking about essentially magical skin, and that's the part that I can't really get past mentally.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Ilya says yes.
Yeah,
Ilya
it
says
does make
yes,
sense. Yeah.
as long as they were safe
I know where you're
distance.
coming from.
I have a few things. I don't know if you want to hear it or not.
I mean,
I want to hear it now.
Nerdy makes a good point here. Says the moment being a teacher, there is more risk of being a teacher of catching coronavirus.
Oh goodness.
Meme says, "Are we
Okay,
talking
my
about
thoughts.
Yes. Go on.
Go,
My
Mel.
thoughts on this. Okay. When it comes right down to it, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's up to whether or not you can handle them as they are. And so that can be different. Maybe for a particular individual, you wouldn't be okay with them being a porn star. Maybe in a separate relationship later on, you would be okay with them being a porn star. I think it really comes down to whether or not you're willing to navigate those waters of uncertainty and accept them as they are in that moment and be willing to grow with them. And that's what the struggle is with any freaking relationship.
Mm.
Are you willing to accept them as they are and continue on? And if you can't, there's nothing wrong with that. If you can't, that's not a failure. That's saying, I can't continue on with this particular relationship. Maybe you can still be friends. Maybe you can still be close in another facet, but each person is different. And so when you have a relationship dynamic with somebody, whether it's romantic, whatever it be, it comes down to dynamic. Yeah. So it comes down to whether or not you can accept them as they are, as they move throughout your life. And that can be different things for different people. And our needs change. They really do. They change throughout our life.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think
it's okay.
See, I just be
if
pissed
you
off that he came home from fucking all day and I wanted some, and he was like, "No, I'm tired."
Need to answer the question.
You know, I'm like,
Don't know what you're
excuse
talking
me.
Lone Wonder is answering the question.
Mama Atheist is telling you, Dave, you got to answer the question.
Jenny.
I abstain.
Jenny is.
Mel, are you in the chat?
I answer questions. I have the chat on the side. Yeah, I have the chat on the side.
What are you saying, Jenny? Yes
I
or
was
no?
gonna type something to you.
I feel like okay, so I default to Mr. Rogers. Okay. I read a lot about Mr. Rogers. I have his book like literally right here. And loving a person as they are. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I've had various relationships with different people. And the challenge for me is if I want this person in my life, I have to accept them as they are. And if I can't accept them as they are, then they're not meant to be part of my inner circle or whatever you call that. And that's okay. You have temporary people, you have permanent people, and that's just how it is. But that doesn't mean you have to not like hate on yourself or hate on them or any of that. It's just we have different needs at different points in our lives, and being able to recognize that is just, it's really valuable and super important in my opinion. But I'm not a psychologist. I feel like I was like, "Hello, Tony Stark Incorporated. How can I help you?"
Right, certain
That's
things
my
that have come
calculator.
from the chat have said. Right, firstly, to be a porn star, you don't necessarily actually have to have sex with someone. There are lots of things in the adult entertainment industry that would classify as porn star where you are not having sex with someone, but you are definitely being intimate with someone in some way.
Yeah.
Dave,
Chad,
you didn't answer the question, Dave. You didn't answer the question, Dave.
I would have concerns about where the safety line was, but no, I'd have absolutely no problem. I'd have no problem in general. It's just sex.
Yeah.
And that's different for
For a lot of
everybody.
people, it's
I know,
not.
and the problem is though, our current society, the way we are brought up, basically Christian, has tied sex to relationships completely.
And
We
ownership
are.
and that
I
sort
mean,
of
again,
thing.
you've only got to read back to some of the ancient Greek stuff, and the sex and the marriage and the relationship. Say again.
This is getting dangerously
I
close
know.
to educational.
It is, right? But the point is, you've only got to go back there to that sort of time, and when you have the separation of sex and relationship, you can see that they didn't need to be connected. This is something we've done. It's not to say that I wouldn't. I can't imagine me having jealousy issues or of my own, but I can't have any. I don't have any logical problem with it whatsoever. As long as I'm taking care of my own issues with the risk that might be there. But I have that problem with other people doing other jobs. I would worry, you've got a racing car driver, I would worry about them coming back injured. As we talk about, we've got a teacher, I would worry about them coming back with coronavirus every day. My sister is doing a job with lots of kids at the moment. And I worry. She got coronavirus like that the first time, and she's now more than 3 months out from that, so the risk of her catching it again is high. And that's just from working around kids.
I'm so glad I don't teach public school anymore. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a mess right now in the U.S. It's terrible.
Well,
It's terrible.
Are you still abstaining, Jenny?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you still abstaining?
Yes.
You are. That's okay. Is there anything fun?
Mad respect for Jenny. High
I know.
five. I see you. It's all right.
You're allowed to.
whew.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.